Hey everybody, this is Steve Krause, and I'm coming to you today on Saturday of the NCAA Final Four. I've got my Virginia Commonwealth T-shirt on. I actually earned my master's degree at VCU, so go Rams. We'll see what happens if they can get by Butler if they get the finals. I want to record a brief video about some of the stuff that's coming up as the term is wrapping up. And I have some bullet points below, but hopefully the video explains some of the details. I'm actually going to be out of town next week. I'm leaving first thing Monday, not coming back until the end of the week for the major conference in my field, the Conference for College Composition and Communication. But I will be online quite a bit on Tuesday and probably also on Thursday, maybe on Friday, and checking my email and things like that. So the communication for our purposes, since it's been an online class, will probably make not a whole lot of difference. But I won't be able to meet with you face to face next week. I posted comments for Style Part 1, comments and grades, and the way that it works is if you go to EMU Online, if you look at the grade book, your gradebook entry, first look at the entry for style, the style assignments, the style essay assignments, and you'll notice for style part 1 I have a brief commentary. And also look at the essay that you revised, because I changed the grade for the essay that you revised there. So if you revised the technology essay, that grade changed and the comments there changed. Overall, I thought that style part 1 was pretty good. And I'm happy to talk individually with anybody who has questions about it. Style part 2, I'm going to start looking at, and with any luck, I'll finish by the end of the day on Tuesday. Like I said, I'm blocking out time on my trip to finish this grading. The peer review for the individual movie projects are going to start on Monday, and this time we're going to set this up on EMU Online. The way that this will work is that you'll have to log into EMU Online, where the gradebook function is, and where most online classes are held. And I will create a group for each of you where, and you will only be able to see other people in your group. And then what you'll do is you will post your word processed version of your essay, probably Microsoft Word document, but it could be a PDF, for that group to read, and review, and comment on. And then you'll comment on each other's essays in the discussion space on EMU Online. This is something that I'm hoping that some of you have done before, and I'm hoping that something will make a fair amount of sense. I liked what I was doing with the Google Docs setup, and I think, it was Google Docs, the surveys and such. The problem with it was that it's very time consuming, and we're just running out of time at the end of the semester, so I thought we would do it this way. Remember, late projects are docked at letter grade. So have your draft in for peer review on Monday, and be sure to have the final version, have your peer review wrapped up by the end of the day on Wednesday next week, and have your final version of this project in by Friday. And I know Friday, April 8th. And I know that this stuff is going really fast, but this is what happens with the short semester. Also due on Friday is the last of the blog entries and the last of the participation for the second part of the term. So make sure you finish up the blog posts. I think they should all be available now. And there'll be links to them under there where it says, blogs at the top, and I'll post a couple links within the discussion area too. And also make sure you send me an email about how you did for the second part of participation. Now, let's talk a little bit about the rushed version of the class. The good news about this term is it's unusually short. I don't know if you've all noticed that, but they meaning EMU, lopped off about a week of the term this semester. The bad news is the lot of stuff is getting squished together, and we're starting to feel that pain now at the end of the semester. And this is where the part of time this semester where I usually talk with people a little bit more about the revision process. Now, this was always explained in the syllabus, and you can go back and look at the details for it. But let me repeat again the basic rules for revision of the major projects for the class. The first rule is that you can revise any and all of the major projects for the class. That would be the Invention and Technology project, the Ancient Style on YouTube project, both parts of Style, part 1, part 2, and then the individual essay portion of the movie project. You can't revise the blogs, you can't revise participation, but you can revise these major projects. You'll have had the grades for everything else. Well, the first two projects, you had the grades for that for a while. You'll have the grades for the style part 2 hopefully by Tuesday, and you'll have the grades for the individual essay for the movie project by April 11th. April 12th at the very latest. We'll talk about that in a second. So you can revise any of those projects. So there's some basic rules. The first rule is if you want to revise a project, you have to physically come speak to me, or we have to talk on the phone, or we have to talk via Skype. And the reason for this is that I want to hear and this is the second thing, I want to hear your strategy for what it is that you're going to do to revise this essay to make it better. Or essays. We can talk about more than one essay in a single meeting. But you have to tell me what it is that you want to do. It's not the other way around. The third thing is that you can only revise each of these projects once, and they're due at the end of the semester. And what I mean by that is that you can't just keep revising until it's like, okay, is it a little bit better now? Is it a B plus instead of a B now? You know, that kind of thing. And revisions are due at the end of time for the class, which is April 15th, on Friday, April 15th. The last thing I'll mention about the revision process is you want to think strategically about revising, and this is one of the reasons why I want to talk with people either in person or on the phone about revisions that they want to make. The first thing to remember is you may need to, if you want to improve the grade for the class, and that's the only point of revising something at this stage. It's not just to make it better, because I know you want to make your writing better. I appreciate that, but at the end of the day, I also want you to revise so it makes a difference for the grade for the course. And so what you need to do is you need to look at the grades that you have for the course, and you pick the essay or essays to revise that will make a difference with your grade. If, for example, you did particularly poorly on one of the essays and you really don't want to revisit it, I'll probably try to counsel you that maybe that's the only way to really improve the grade. That's often the case. The second thing to remember about revision is that some of you are in a better place for revising projects than others. What I mean is this: if you're between grades, if you're between a B and a C, or if you're between a B minus or between a B and a B plus, or between a B plus and an A minus, then you probably will want to kind of consider revising to improve to the next level in the course. But on the other hand, if everything that you've received so far is a B, there's a pretty good chance that the only way that you can improve the grade overall is to revise everything, which leads me to my last point about revision, which is you have to think about this in relationship to how much time you have. If this is the only class that you're taking, great, revise them all. Spend the extra time that it takes. If you have a busy life and things are getting complicated and everything like that, well, you have to think about it. You have to think about it in terms of what is it worth to me, how much time can I spend, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But again, key issues, if you want to revise something, you need to talk with me about it. Revisions are due at the end of the semester. You'll hand in to me by the end of the semester via email these revised essays. It indicates, specifically, this is the one that I revised, and so forth. One last thing about the end of time. The end of time for the term is Friday, April 15th. I selected that during that time during finals week, just to sort of like give myself a bit more of a break before spring term starts, and also to just wrap up the class a little bit more succinctly than I have sometimes in the past. Now let me explain to you what I mean by the end of time. Okay, on Friday, April 15th at 4:59 p.m., everything is fine. The birds are singing, children are playing, all is well with the world. But on Friday, April 15th at 5:01 p.m., time itself ceases to exist, and we are sucked into a void, a black hole, nothingness. Ah! Scary, huh? Okay, so what I mean is if you were to say to me, "Hey, Steve, is there any way I could hand this in on the things that are due at the end of the semester, the final, which we'll talk about next week, 2 weeks from now, the final, any revisions, anything that's outstanding in terms of the class, just other things that are floating around out there. Is there any way I can hand this stuff in on April 16th? My response to you will be, there is no April 16th. Okay? So bear in mind, when I say the end of time is April 15th at 5 p.m., I am not kidding. Everything has to be in and done and wrapped up by then. Because what I will probably do is turn around on that Friday, April 15th, and actually post final grades for the term. Okay, so we're all going to rush. We're all going to wrap this thing up by no later than 5 o'clock on Friday, April 15th. Okay, I think that's it. I'll see everybody online, and we'll enjoy this mad dash to the end of the term together. Okay.